Okay, so let's take things to a level of depravity that I haven't quite seen in a movie before, and that's this week's featured movie, slasher from 2015, a retro slasher, very trashy, very bloodthirsty, made to look like it's from 1978, set in the same year. Very like I say, it's meant to be a retro slasher, gory as hell, nasty. This is nasty, and that's 2015's Headless. Now I've just rewatched this just in the segment for this Slashy Trashy episode, and yeah, what a nasty movie. I remember wanting to see this after I saw the film Found, which this movie's featured in, that the characters watched this movie Headless, and obviously it was decided to make it a feature-length film. It's a good one as well, good slasher one. Doesn't overstay its welcome. It's about 86 minutes, full of gore, follows this sadistic killer who's had a troubled upbringing, basically emotionally tortured by his mother and sister growing up. He's in all sorts of he's in all sorts of a state mentally. Basically, you can tell he's in some sort of state of psychosis because he's hallucinating. He's having visions. He's having weird nightmares. He's going around butchering people to levels that are just absolutely revolting. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I won't go into full description with it, you know, if it being so graphic. But yeah, the film starts off with an old school title card with a sort of him standing in the distance in an abandoned like warehouse or something. It comes up Headless, you know, 1978 at the bottom. Nice sort of old school feel to it. And then he's got a victim in there, and it's showing you like clips of him butchering victims, the nasty things he does. Basically, he has some sort of like fetish for decapitating women and doing stuff to their decapitated heads. He doesn't even do it through the mouth. It's where the wound is, you know, where it gets severed there. He goes in with the decapitated head straight into the skull, basically. Wears a skull mask, drenches himself in the victim's blood over the mask, and to add insult to injury, he's so gross, he even actually gets a spoon and scoops out their eyeballs and pops them into his mouth and munches on them, and all the goo from the eye and the inside of the eye drips down his mask and into it from his mouth. It's in his mouth, all this white goo. Absolutely revolting, brilliantly done. I do enjoy this one. I did when I first watched it. I'd say it's not one to probably eat your dinner to. It's quite disgusting. The first few like killing scenes are probably the worst, I think. You sort of get a little used to it, familiar with the sort of graphic nature of it the more you watch the film. Starts off really nasty, quite shocking, and then you kind of, you know, you settle down a little bit and you're like, yeah, it's still awfully horrific, but you know, you're a little bit more familiar with it. Tells the story of Jess, this young woman, works at the roller ring where they skate, you know, one of those skating rings, like 70s style. Gotten a boyfriend who doesn't really help out and stuff like that. She's frustrated, always like whining to a friend and stuff. And the killer's eyeing her up, basically, and her friend, and planning to do some pretty nasty things to them. That's sort of like the side note of the tale leading to the climax. And in between, you're getting the killer having hallucinations and flashbacks to his childhood. He has a hallucination where he sees a little schoolboy, a little boy in jeans with a skull head. That's probably why he adopted the skull mask. That guy basically gives him orders. He gives this character directions. The little schoolboy, he doesn't talk, he sort of goes like that with his teeth. He makes his teeth chatter, and he points and he claps when the killer's doing nasty things to the victims and decapitating them. Yeah, really nasty film, but I do like it. It's really good. It's for a slasher fan, it's quite sort of like the ultimate slasher in some regard. It definitely gives stuff like the Terrifier series a run for its money, which I also love as well, but this is just another level of depravity, especially with the things he does to the decapitated heads. A lot of gore, a lot of nasty stuff. He's got a big blade. He even purrs like a little kitty cat in one scene to lure his victim in. It's a really cool scene where this woman's coming out of a club in a dingy city area at night time in an alleyway. It's got a bit of a smoky like visual, and it looks very grindhouse as well. Got that retro feel, and he's there purring like a cat. She turns around the corner and he's there, skull mask on, you know, purring like a cat, and then he basically kidnaps her and It does awful things to her. It's got a good showdown at the end as well. Yeah, I know it's quite a hard one to get hold of because it's not on streaming. I don't think it's ever been released in the UK. Maybe they won't let it be released. I'm not too sure about that. But it's very graphic in nature. Quite. Some people would say it's disturbing. I don't find it disturbing because I'm used to these type of films. But it's brilliant in some regard. It's really well done. Great retro feel. Great score as well. One particular scene is brilliant where he picks up the hitchhiker. She gets into the car, lights a joint. The killer's not wearing his skull mask, so she's like, "Are you a rocker and stuff? You look like a rocker because of his long hair." And the schoolboys, you can see the schoolboy in the middle of them, although she can't see that because it's his hallucination. And yeah, he just starts banging her head on the dashboard, and it's a really eerie scene with creepy music and good shots of the schoolboy character and the killer. And yeah, it looks very creepy and quite like spooky, that scene. Like, it's a bit of an odd looking scene, but it's really good, really well done. Yeah, Headless, brilliant slasher from 2015. Hard to get hold of. I managed to get this media book a few years ago when I was trying to sort the film out to actually see it, and I did get hold of this. Paid a little bit for it for what it is, but it's a Blu-ray and DVD combination. Quite a nice media book. I'm glad to have it. It's probably worth a bit now, but I'm not selling. I'm definitely keeping this as the film's so hard to get to. I'd love to see a label put this out as well. You know, it'd be great if someone like Vinegar Syndrome or a Vinegar Syndrome partner label actually got this out, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it and they'd like to see it, and they should if they're a slasher fan. It's nasty stuff, graphic stuff, but definitely a good one. And you've never seen a slasher like it. Like, you really haven't. The levels of depravity on some of the scenes are just quite shocking, but you know, it's a good one. Like I said, there's Found as well, which is from 2012. That's the characters in this, the two brothers, and the friend, they watch Headless in this, and that's where they got the idea for Headless from, to flesh it out into a full feature. But Found's another good one worth sorting out. It's got a graphic ending and stuff, good storyline. This is a bit more got a bit more depth in story to Headless, but I prefer Headless just because it's a fantastic slasher, but Found's very good as well. So there's Headless from 2015. Yeah, nasty piece of slashy trashy there. Ugh. So before we get to the feature presentation, just a couple of recommendations, nice and quick, both on the 88 Film Slasher Classics Collection line. This one might even be out of print, but Vinegar Syndrome also have a version out as well, which is readily available, and that's Slaughterhouse, Buddy Has an Axe to Grind. From what I can remember, this was pretty fun, like about this big guy like killing people, trying to take his revenge and stuff like that. Yeah, in an abandoned slaughterhouse. So he's a big brooding figure, as you can see there. And I do recommend this one. So if you haven't seen it, give it a check out. Not the best in the world, but it's a good sort of like little slasher. Yeah, recommendation there. And one that is just fantastic. I had to recommend this. I know it's not seasonally adequate, but we have Christmas Evil. Now, this is a good trashy slasher. Very, you know, got a very sort of like low budget vibe to it, although not like the lowest of budget kind of like atmosphere, but it looks that kind of way, bit like Grindhouse style kind of, you know, with its sort of aesthetic. Tells a story about this troubled guy who's one of the managers like at a toy factory, and he's fed up of his employees basically taking the piss out of him and like taking him for granted, fed up with the world, and he just wants to bring a little bit of joy. So he dresses up as Santa Claus and starts spreading a little Christmas cheer, but things go awry because he's rather troubled and he doesn't seem to be able to step away from that, and things take a bit of a wrong sort of turn in the story, and he starts having the neighbourhood coming after him because of some of the things he's done on Christmas Eve's night. So Christmas Evil, do check that one out. I think it's still about out from 88. This is a nice edition. Again, VS have an edition as well, but I do recommend the 88 Films one. It's got this fantastic cover art as well. Okay, so on to the feature presentation. Oh, I don't know why I thought this was a good idea to make this the feature presentation. To be fair, I should have made it Headless. I think I'll end up talking about Headless more, which I have done. I won't talk about this one as much. It's not as good as Headless, but anyway, this is our feature presentation. 2001's Shredder, Death to Snowboarders. Group of young people head up to a mountain property, a ski lodge, out in the sticks a little bit. One of the girls, her father is thinking of purchasing it. They're rather rich and stuff. The whole group's there getting drunk, having fun, but the townspeople want them to stay away, and there's a reason for this. It's because there's a killer about, and yeah, he's got a problem with snowboarders, and this group particularly loves snowboarders. Anyway, let's have a quick look at some stills from the movie. Yeah, so as far as the characters go, rarely have I ever had to put up with such an insufferable bunch. The characters are just damn right annoying. They just drive you crazy. They're so annoying. You know, there's this like sort of hype man dude who's like, yeah, bro, yeah. I mean, he's okay, but like he's probably the best one out of the group, to be fair to him. But even he gets annoying sometimes just because he's just, I don't know, just something about the characters I find great in. Like, not necessarily got a problem with that guy because he's like a sort of like snowboarder dude. He just the whole characters, the bunch of them just drive me nuts. And the film itself's not great either, to be fair. There's a few okay kills and stuff. One thing I will say is a plus about the film is the location, set in the sort of snowy mountains. That's rather good. And I do like a good sort of icy feel to things. I do like that. This is the Scorpion edition. Quite nice. I'd definitely say the cover art for this edition's better than the film. The film's pretty trash. Storyline's not great. Kills aren't the best, but there's some good ones. But strangely enough, I still felt compelled to watch it, and I kind of like it a bit as well. It's kind of middle of the road for me. I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5 because I rate it out of 5. 2.5 out of 5 for this one. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first time I watched it a few years back. This is the second viewing. Not too much to say about it really, just have a look at it. You know, if you fancy a trashy slasher, go for it. You're not going to be blown away or anything, but it's okay for like maybe like a one-time watch or something. I'd watch it again in the future when I've forgotten how bad it is. But yeah, not too good, this one. I'm not a big fan of it, and I wish I hadn't actually made it the featured presentation, but I did. But it isn't the worst film ever, and it's not the worst slasher I've seen at all. It's kind of middle of the road. It's just the characters are so damn annoying. They're almost insufferable. I could see this being released by 88 Films on the Slasher Classics line. It'd fit right in with that aesthetic. Maybe even if they could get this cover art again and recycle it, it would look really good. Anyway, there's the feature presentation, Shredder. Have a look at it. Not the best film in the world, but yeah. I'm so glad I covered Headless as well. I should have made that the featured presentation, but there you go. Shredder, 2001, snowboarding slasher film. Death Tool snowboarders. Yeah, dude.